Yo, it's Harlem on the rise, yo, we love to get the money. This a podcast, you can catch us being funny. Yeah, from 7 to 9, we litty and live. So stop everything, this is serious vibe. Catch us on a Wednesday, it's litty on a hump day. Listen in your car, got the Beamer or the Hyundai. Facebook Live, we live on the rec. You can back to the beat 139, I'm Doc.
I'm Don Vito, what's good? How y'all feeling? Thanks for coming back. We want to welcome our second guest to the show tonight. All the way from St. Anne's Parish, Jamaica.
Yep.
International celebrity chef and author. Celebrity Chef Patrick. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure, man.
We got Chef
It's a
Patrick.
pleasure.
So I'm going to tell you how we met Chef Patrick. We just at the Harlem Meetup event this weekend at the Beat 139. Every year, well, it's our second year, we do the media and press over there. And me and Doc was walking around.
Yep.
You know, we was a little hungry. So we figured, you know, we going to Harlem Meetup. We good when we get inside. And we stopped at a couple different stations and stuff like that. And, you know, we had a couple snacks. And then we came by my man's station right here. And Doc went over there and he tasted your food. He's like, yo. He was like, yo, man, that shit is crazy. You got to go get some of that.
Yeah.
And then we ran into Patrick.
How many I had?
Yeah, about 5 of them.
No, but busted, because like you know, you have to want to be modest because you know people there, and then I figure they want to make sure everybody eat. So I told John, hey, I said, yo, you taste this guy had it first.
Yeah.
I said, but you gotta taste this. Yeah. So I tasted it. I'm like, God damn. So I'm looking at it like this, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm really paid for this.
Yeah, he
I
brought
said,
up.
they didn't know. I started tearing them joints up that. Yo, I said that was the best joint, and I'm not saying it because you're here, but that was the best joint in there.
Yeah.
That joint was the best joint in there. I was starting to eat you up. I said, nah.
So you from Jamaica? How did you get to the United States? Now, how did that?
Oh my God, that when I graduated from school, right out of school, I started working on the cruise ship.
Right.
So I've been traveling ever since I was like 17. After I
With the
graduated.
Royal Caribbean, right?
Yeah, with Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, I worked with them for about 9 years. I was executive chef.
Right.
So going back and forth from Jamaica, and whenever I get my vacation, I'll spend it here in New York or I'm in Miami.
Right.
So traveling back and forth from then, but then I only had a work visa because you're working on the ship. So then from there, after working with them, then you can apply for a B2 visa, which is more like a vacation visa and so forth. So after traveling and working with Royal Caribbean Cruise Line for so many years, I then start working with Disney World in Orlando. So when Disney World start going cruise line, I was a part of the first crew that went for their first ship in Italy, which was the Disney Magic.
Oh, wow.
So when you hear of Disney World and they're like, oh, they're going cruise ship now, I was a part of the first team that went there and bring down the ship.
Okay, y'all hear that?
Yeah, so it's been a journey.
Yes.
You know, sometimes I have to pinch myself and go, here's a little kid who used to go to the next door neighbor and stand at the door and watch our family eat when there was no food at my house.
Yeah.
Here I am now cooking for celebrities and presidents.
So let's touch on that. So let's talk about your childhood, man. Your father left when you was 5 years old, and then just take us from there.
Yeah, my father, I don't grow up knowing my father. So my father left when I was 5. That was the last time I remember seeing him. So me growing up, not knowing a father, had to basically be there for my smaller sister. But my mom worked 2 jobs. So in Jamaica, you have morning school and you have evening class. So I would work the morning class, and then my sister, I'll go to morning school, and then my sister will go to evening school. So when I come home, I'd cook for her. So by the time she come home, she have something to eat. So over time of me just being in the kitchen, trying to mix something up or trying to cook whatever I can find. Meanwhile, my mom was working 2 jobs. I always find myself mixing something together because it's a single parent home. My mom used to wash clothes for people and so forth. So at that time, nothing much was ever in the house. So I remember one day I was cooking something for my sister and I messed it up. I was making some cabbage and I accidentally spilled the curry into the cabbage. Now, in those days, nobody know nothing about no curry cabbage in Jamaica.
Right.
You know, we know about some steamed cabbage. You go to the Golden Crust and you get the steamed cabbage.
Yeah.
That's what we know about.
Mm-hmm.
My sister came home from school and she saw it and she started laughing at me. And me as a little kid, that time I was like 11, 12, I start crying and I say, I'm sorry. And she and her friends, they were all laughing. And I say, I'm going to show you that I can cook. I'm going to show you that I can cook. One day I'm going to be a chef. One day I'm going to be a chef. So from that time of me trying to better and perfect myself, I take something negative and turn it into a positive. And I look at my sister and I say, I'm going to show you that I can cook. One day I'm going to be a great chef. And I just took it and run with it from there. So whenever when I went to Marcus Garvey Technical High School and they asked what do I want to choose as my career, I say food and nutrition. So from choosing that as food and nutrition, I just keep learning more as I can. And I remember my teacher sent me on work experience. In Jamaica, they called it work experience. Here, they call it internship. So my teacher sent me somewhere, and the only thing they made was patty and cocoa bread. And I remember after being there for 2 weeks, I went back to my teacher and I was like, Miss, for 2 weeks, all I made was patty and cocoa bread because it was a bakery and that was all they make. I said, Miss, I don't learn anything right now. I'm professional at patty and cocoa bread alone. That's all I learned how to make. So my teacher called a friend from a hotel and asked them if they have any space. They want to send someone else. So I look at it like this. I'm so blessed where I eventually got 2 different places to go for internship. And some kids didn't get any. Not that it's wrong. Over time, they eventually got somewhere to go for work experience. But to see that my teacher look out for me and to see that I wanted more out of this career, to send me somewhere else again. And after I went to the hotel and I worked for about a week, after a week I was there, the hotel manager and the executive chef asked me if I want to work there after I graduated from school. And I said, yeah, sure. So after all of that, graduation, finish and everything, I eventually had a job even before I graduated. So from that, I just keep perfecting and I moved from there. I went to Sandals Ocherias, and from Sandals Ocherias, my career I just keep giving more of myself, more to my chefs. I always try to please my chefs, my supervisor, everyone that I'm around and work with. I just try to always, even if I'm working one station, I'm the chef who go over, you want me to help you with this? You want me to help you do that? Even if I gotta wash the pots or do whatever they ask of me to do, it's just me being around food was so much important to me because there was never food at home. You know, it's me just being around something that I know it's feed people and it's good for you, and it's just so much.
So at an early age, you took love.
Yeah,
That was your love from early.
I took a love out of food because I think for me, because of the fact of coming from poverty and coming from there's never food at home, and I think I remember when I was probably about 9 or 10, I remember when my mom couldn't afford certain things to provide for us. I remember even one holiday season, Christmas time comes around, my mom couldn't afford no gifts or anything to give to me. And my mom, she would tell me, Patrick, I don't have no money. Sorry, I can't buy you no toys. And I remember this. I'd go to the neighbor. You have the neighbor and the kids out on the veranda and they play with their toys and so forth. And I would stay over by my house and watch them. And then at night, when all of them gone to sleep, I'll sneak over the fence and I'll go and sit on the veranda. They call it the patio. I'll go there and sit and I play with their little toys. And I'm trying to be quiet while I'm playing with their toys. If I hear anyone in the house, I run back over to my house. So those little things are what motivate me and inspire me to say, you know what? I want to reward myself for a lot of the struggle that I went through as a kid. And I want to find ways of opening doors of opportunity for other people and other youths who are going through it. And that's where over time I said, this journey that I'm walking and this journey of everything that I'm doing, I don't want to make it just about me. I want to make it to inspire other youths and other people who are going through it. So it's just me keep adding to it and just something that's keep pushing me in just trying to be the best of me, so I can open doors of opportunity
Right.
for other people.
So when did you get recognized as a celebrity chef?
I think there's this part I have to touch on, because this becomes a making of me.
Mhm.
And I remember when I used to work at Sandals Ocherias.
Mhm.
And that time I never traveled before or anything. And it's just to show you how God works in mysterious ways, and He always got your back. I remember I was working at Sandals, and I got off work and I came out and I was standing there to take a bus to go somewhere. And a friend said to me, "Sir Patrick," that was even before I started working on the ship. The person said, "Patrick, you know that they're hiring in St. Anne's Bay for cruise ship job to work on a ship?" And I said, I ain't got the time for that. That time I've never traveled before, but I've never even been to an airport. So I went there. The guy said, "What are you doing? You're not doing anything. Just go down there and take the test. You're good at what you do." So I went down there, went in the room. It was like a classroom setup. I went in the room and they gave me the paper, and the guy said to me, "You have 40 minutes to do the test." I eventually did it in like 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And when I did it in 15 minutes, I brought it up to him and he was like, "You finished? You just came in here and you saw all the people sitting here. You finished already?" I'm saying, "Yeah, it's good." He said, "I'm giving you 10 more minutes to go double check it just to make sure that it's good." I went back, take the 10 minutes, sit down, and I brought it back to him. I said, "You're good." Gave it to him. He said, "All right, if you're confident." Went back to work, didn't pay no mind, because I figured I'm not going to hear from these people again. 6 months after, I was at work at Sandals, and I hear on the intercom, Wenford, Simpson report to the front desks. So I'm like, front desk? If something happened, it would be my chef come and tell me, "Hey, Patrick, blah, blah, blah."
Mhm.
Why are they asking me to come to the front desk? So anyway, I walk around there. When I walked to the front desk, there were two guys, two white guys in suit. So I'm in Jamaica. The only thing we know is about African American police. I don't I don't know about the white guys in suit. So anyway, I kind of walk up to the front desk. The two guys are standing there. They the front desk person identified them and said, "Oh, these two guys are here for you." And I'm like, "What the hell did I do?" So they take out their their ID, and they identify themselves. They was like, "Oh, we're from Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. You took a test a couple months ago." And I'm like, "Took a test?" They say, "Yeah, you took a test for a cruise ship job." And I said, "Oh, that." They say, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, just to get straight to the point, we were sent from Royal Caribbean Cruise Line in Miami to basically come and get you."
Mm.
And I'm looking at them like, "Come and get me?" They say, "Yeah." The guy said, "We found out you passed the test. You took the test in 15 minutes. And even though you get more time to check it, you didn't write on the paper or anything. Everything was right." And when the information came back to the head office, they sent us to come and get you. At this time, I don't have passport, never traveled before. The only time I see a plane is when it's flying up in the sky. So I called my mom. My supervisor was standing there, and I called my mom and I said, "Mom, I got a job to work on a ship. Um, there's two guys here, so they were sent from Miami to come and get me." And that was a Monday, and they're telling me I have to leave by the Thursday.
Mm.
So I don't have
Wow.
passport nor nothing. The guy said to me, he said, "We come with all the credential. All you got to do is just say yes, and we'll
Mm.
take care of everything." So from there, I called my mom. My mom said, "Well, go ahead, give it a shot, and do whatever they ask you to do." Right away, they took me to Kingston. They put me up in a hotel. The next day, they took me to the police precinct to get all my fingerprint, all my blood, everything done. They went inside the embassy.
Mm.
I didn't even have to go in the embassy. They went in the embassy. They came back out with my visa. Now, here's a little curveball again, because the devil is always working. So now, after it came back out, and they said, "Okay, you're good, blah, 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 everything is set." They said, "The only thing, you have to purchase your ticket. After you purchase your ticket, when you come up after you work a year, the company reimburse you because the company have a problem with bringing up employees and they run off the job and the company feel they're losing a lot of money. So if you work with a company for a year, the company reimburse you. So I called my mom and I said, Mom, all the paperwork, everything is done. The only problem that I have now is that my I have to buy my ticket. My mom said, Patrick, me not have them the kind of money there. So my mom eventually called a friend. My mom said to me first, she said, call your father. Your father has never done anything for you. Your father's never done anything for you in all your years. Call your father and see if he will buy the ticket for you. So remember now, I don't see this man from I
Since
was
he was
5.
5 years old, yeah.
From I was 5, I don't see this man. At this time now, I'm 17.
Mm.
So I call him, and when I called him, I was like, he answered the phone. Just the shock of his voice after so many years, I kind of not let it get to me. And I said, sorry to disturb you. My mom asked me to call you because I got a job on the ship and I have to buy the ticket. And right away he started, me not have no money, and me not know what y'all call me for. And then me not have the money right now. And them the ship job there. And he started telling me a whole bunch of negative. And he said, well, me would think about it and call you back. Anyway, he hang up.
Mm.
Call back my mom and I said, Mom, I call him and he hang up on me and say he don't have no money. And for me not to call him back unless he call me if he can buy the ticket. So my mom said, all right, don't worry about it. I'm gonna call a friend that she have in Canada. So my mom picked up the phone and she called a friend, and the friend took all my information and said, okay, give me passport information, all of that, where he's going and his name. My mom called me back and said, Patrick, don't worry, your flight is booked, everything is taken care of.
Mm.
No, when I got to the airport, here's the shocking part of it. When I got to the airport, now my mom came with me to the airport and my sister and the two guys who were all there. We board, we go through all the check-in and baggage and all of that. Now we're ready to board the plane. When we went on the plane, the the two guys were in front of me. They went in, they showed their passport and all of that. They went all the way down in the back of the plane. I'm standing there now. The lady look at mine and she look at mine and she go, oh, you sit right here. So now I'm confused now because this is my first time traveling. We came on this plane together. I don't understand how they went all the way in the back and you're telling me to sit right here.
First class.
I didn't even know all of that. I know that after I got off the plane and I got to the airport and I was telling someone why they separated us. And that's when one of the guys said to me, because you travel first class. The guy who booked the plane booked me first class.
Mm.
So from there, it's just like when I got to Miami, I actually called him. And when I called him, I called him and he hung up on me again and I had the operator call him. And I said, no, well, I didn't call to disturb you. I just called to tell that I'm here in Miami. And then I hang up on him. And from there, my life just catapulted from there because from there I started working with Disney World and then worked with Disney World for 4 years. From Disney World, then I start working. All my family live here in New York, so I decided that I just want to stay and just work a regular job. Then I start working at Negril,
Mm.
Negril Village.
Mhm.
That's when it was on 23rd Street.
Yeah.
And then from there, when Negril after Times Square and it got slow and so forth, then I was in Harlem at Moby Uptown Restaurant. And then from Harlem to Dinosaur Barbecue, I was kitchen manager there. And then from there, I worked Red Lobster until after Red Lobster, I'm like, this is not me. I can't deal with this microwave food and everything is all the packages and all of that. And from there, things just start turning. And I met one of the director of operations for BB King's. And he said, hey, we have a position available for executive chef at the Highline Ballroom. And I went there, did all the information. He look at my work and see what I do and hire me on the spot. And there's so much thing that transpired ever since. And it's just so much. It's so much. This segment would be so long, but my life just makes so many different turns and so much positive turn and negative. And me opening a culinary school in Jamaica is just my way of giving back and helping out. I do a motivational tour where I go around to kids and speak to them in school as to how to focus on their education. And
Wow, welcome to this monster drink is crazy. Yo, Callie, explain to them how it was when I walked in here before I had this monster drink.
Doc, you was real dry until you had this Monster Energy drink right here. I'm telling you, like, this is a picker-upper.
I said I drank this monster drink. Y'all got to get with the program, champ.
stay on top of their career, no matter what career field you're in. I just find ways to always inspire them. You go on my Instagram page, on my website, you see me with kids. Right now in July, I'm going to Jamaica. I have about 5 schools that I'm visiting. I do cooking demos with them. And it's just my way of telling the upcoming youths and everyone, even older folks reaching out to me. I have people who are like 50 and 45 and 60 say, help me. I'm at a point in my life right now where I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong, why I'm not getting it. So it takes pleasure for me to motivate and inspire not only just youths, but even elderly person who are dealing with it and can't understand where they're going wrong. Because it's all about believing yourself. You believe in yourself and you believe in God and you keep your faith and you love and treat other people how you want to be treated. What you put out in the world, that's exactly what you get back. Mm-hmm. And I always say that if you get up every day and you have negative energy, your day's going to unfold with negative energy. You get up with positive. Me, I don't have road rage. You always see me, I'm in a good spirit. Mm-hmm. And that's how I meet people. That's how I meet you guys, because I had a good spirit and you guys have a good spirit. Yes. And it's just so much. And you're looking at a guy who contemplates suicide 3 times. Mm. One of them, I stand right at the number 2 train station at Tremont Avenue with my eyes closed, headphone on, listening to Mary Mary. That's how me and Mary becomes real good friends now. Listening to Can't Give Up Now. And I count 4 trains. I'm standing right at the edge. The door came closed, open, train passed again. I'm still standing there with my eyes closed, trying to make up my mind to just free fall. Wow. And here I am right now, getting ready to open the Simpson's Culinary Institute.
God got a plan for you, brother.
God, yeah. God's good.
God wasn't letting that happen.
No. And that's why I say you can't give up. You can't. Yeah. And that's why that song, when I met Erica and her sister and we sit down and we talk, they were shooting an episode of Mary Mary and they had to shut off all camera. And we locked up in the room and we prayed and we cried. And I tell them, I say, your music saved me. Can't give up now. Yeah. He didn't brought you thus far to leave you now. Exactly. He didn't brought you from being homeless on the street, sleeping on the street, bagging groceries in supermarket to where you are now. And God say, no, I'm going to leave you now. Sure. No, there's something else. And you know what's so funny? I was doing a motivational tour and I was speaking to an audience of almost 300 people. And in the middle of me speaking, I stop. And I'm looking at the audience and I'm looking at everyone. And they were wondering like, what happened? He's not talking, but he's just looking around. And that's when it dawned on me. It dawned on me that, so, okay, let me get this straight, God. All the time when you were putting me through everything that I went through, you were preparing me for this. Because here I am now, motivating and inspiring hundreds of people.
Yep. Great.
So, when you work at these places, you said you work Dinosaur Barbecue, all these different places. Do they give you creative control where you cook the food how you want to cook it, or they have a recipe you have to follow?
Well, Dinosaur Barbecue is a little bit different. Me and John Stage were real cool friends, so we kind of bounce off each other with ideas. It's a barbecue, smoke. His menu and his concept is what it is. but he's open to suggestions. If something is not working and something is not right, he will change it. He will take suggestions. Just like I went there and I put stuff on the menu that wasn't on the menu. But places like Moby Uptown Restaurant, I was the executive chef. Me and Sharon Barnes, we sit down and we talk about the menu and we create the menu and we come up with the coconut curry salmon and the jerk chicken and the rundown and all these other stuff. We come up with creative ideas for the menu. Same thing with Sony Hall. With Sony Hall, it's the same thing. I'm the corporate executive chef, so we have over 15 venues across all over. We have in Hawaii, we have in China, we have in Washington, D.C., um, we have in New York here, we have 4 venues in New York, and just I stay on top of the menus and create them and execute them with a team, and I have guys who oversee it just to make sure everything stay consistent.
So I want to ask you about this, right? So I read that you cook for over 400 celebrities. Like we talking like Michelle and Barack Obama. We talking about Bill and Hillary Clinton. How was that experience?
That is big. Hillary Clinton came to Moby Uptown Restaurant when I used to work there. It's one of us favorite spot in Harlem that she liked, and also Melba's too, because Melba's a lot of celebrities and people. Whenever they come to Harlem, they always look for the great spot where they can find great food to stop by. And I remember she came there and she loved the coconut curry salmon so much where she reached out back to Sharon and she was like, hey, I'm having an event at my house. I'd love for you guys to come there and do the salmon. So Sharon told me, Patrick, go and cook it. So we went to her house, cook it, and she loved it. Now, Michelle and Barack Obama, I was at the Howard Theater. They had an event at the Howard Theater, and they was a part of the guests that was there. It was a seated event. So when they came in, the dining room manager said, okay, Michelle and Barack is here if you want to go talk to them. So I went out, say hi to him. He was real cool, give me a nice, hey, what's up, chef? And say hi to the wife. And they said, okay, Barack said, so what's a special tonight? So what you like? So you sound like Jamaican. I want something jerk. So I said, all right. So I made a jerk chicken for him. And then for Michelle, I did the coconut curry salmon. And they loved it. But overall, because of the fact I'm in a music venue and every night there's a celebrity, every night there's a show.
Right.
So from there, every night there's a show. I'm always the one who have to physically go talk to the artists. Hey, what's going on? Is there anything special that you want? I know we have a band menu that we'll give to the artists and to the band, but me personally, I'll go to the artists and introduce myself, and they'll then tell me, hey, yes, can you make this for me special? So there and then I'm always interacting with the artist. So I've cooked for over 400, probably more, celebrities from Rihanna, Mary J. Blige, you name them, I've cooked for them.
This is where everybody at, man. All the people we haven't heard about in a long time. You're going to Sony Hall, man. We got Jones Brothers.
Yep.
Shanice.
Yep.
Vivian Green. George Clinton.
Yep. And you go on the website and there's so much. And you go
they performing at now,
Yeah.
man. Okay.
Yep.
Sony Hall every night, just about. Huh?
Yeah. Every night there's a different artist. Every night there's a
Like
show.
Jennings, Sheila
Yeah.
E.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and the good benefit of it to have 3 cooking shows presently on TV. I was just on the Food Network with Bobby Flay. Went well. Yeah, I made Bobby sweat. Not easy, but yeah, we had fun. And I have a lot of artists. They comes on my show. We cook together. Have a great conversation. Talk about different things that they're doing. If they have any new album coming out, anything new that they have going on. So I have Cook Up that comes on the Tempo Network, and then I have Into the Kitchen that comes on CIN every Sunday. And I have my new show that just launched probably about 2 months ago that is called Cooking with Love. This one I like because this one, even though I like all 3 of them, this one is about me and my fans, and it can be any random person. It can be a kid, it can be just someone that I met on the street that love cooking
Mhm.
and they want to cook with me. They'll reach out to me on social media and it's my way of inspiring them. You know, if they reach out to me and I see they're passionate and I say, oh, come and cook with me, you know, and they love that. And it's not 15 minutes of fame because the segment is 25 minutes.
Right.
So they get 25 minutes of one-on-one interaction and cooking and laugh and just give them that to hold on to and motivate them.
And so what's your philosophy for cooking?
My philosophy for cooking, and I tell my guys this every time, I say, if you wouldn't eat it, do not serve it to my customers. Anything, I tell you this, as a chef, and they'll tell you, and Melvin know this too. As chefs, we stand at the door and we watch plate go to the table.
Mhm.
And we watch it until you'll probably take the first bite. And all we want to see is that shake head after you bite.
Mhm.
And we come back in the kitchen and it's like we just score gold. We're like, yes, they love it. You know, and
Yeah.
we're so fulfilled with that.
Yeah.
And when a plate comes back from the table, a lot of time, even though you still got to be safe and conscious, if I see a plate come back too many times of the same thing, I want to know. And I will walk to the table and I'll ask. And a lot of time, I like that one-on-one interaction with my guests because I remember one lady came in one night and she made a pasta. She ordered a pasta and she keeps sending back for the pasta. And for about the third time, I said to the server, take me to that table. I need to know exactly what this client wants because I don't know what you're coming back and telling me that makes me can't get it right. So when I went out to the table, one of the girls sitting at the table, she looked at the girl and said, you see what you did? You made the chef come out here. You see what you did? So right away, I'm like, do me a favor. Can you get up? And she's like, get up. And I said, yeah, come. Me and you going in the kitchen. And I took her right in my kitchen. And she's standing there right by the stove. And I said, me and you're going to make this pasta together. Yeah. And her friend came, started videoing it at the same time. I said, me and you're going to. And that moment meant so much to her. To know that she was standing there and I gave her the spoon and I said, okay, you stir, I'll put the cheese in. It was like me and her cooking. Then I get the plate and she was doing the present. She was plating it and I'm like, wipe your plate, make it look nice because that's how I'll set it out. And then after we finished, I gave her the plate and I'm like, here you go. Here your pasta. Go on your table. And up until now, me and that lady's still friends.
Still friends.
Yeah, they love those little touch.
Yeah.
Those little touch that means so much to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's about for the moment they come out to support your business. It's for you to make sure you make it memorable for them.
All right, so you're a chef. So what do you like to eat?
As chef, we stop at a Chinese restaurant and get chicken wing. We eat some of the weirdest thing.
You always around food. Some people say when I cook all the time, I don't have real appetite.
We eat some of the weirdest thing. Yeah.
So you take care of everybody else, and you just go get you some Chinese food or something.
People would tell you, my restaurant seats 550, and at the end you will find me in the back sitting on a crate, a little plate like this. After you just made those fine dining dishes, send them out. You give me a little rice with some gravy, and I'm good. Yeah.
So what's your favorite foods to cook?
I would say I love seafood and I love cooking steak because you can do so many different things with sauce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all about the sides and the preparation and presentation and marinate.
Right.
I love when meats are marinated. And I always say food is supposed to be memorable of the taste and the flavor.
Yes.
When you walk out of the restaurant, even when you get to the car, if you taste that little piece of meat, you're like, oh my God, so I like a piece of it tastes so good. The memorable taste is there. And I don't like food bland. It's supposed to be flavorful.
Exactly. So what's in the box?
I come bearing gifts. Okay. I know it's not Christmas yet, but I come bearing gifts. I brought you some nice little cups from Sony Hall.
Okay.
Yeah. I see you have your beautiful cups here.
We bear all gifts. We bear all gifts.
Yeah, definitely. We got to share the love.
She got on camera right now, bro. I stopped by Melvin last night and sat at the table. I ate pretty swell. And I went to Pace.
Yeah, he told me.
And Melba took care of that. It's done.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Yeah, he told
Thank
me.
you, Melba. That's right.
Yeah,
Love you. Yeah.
I'm glad I missed it. I'm sad I missed it.
And I also brought some tickets. One of your lucky caller or one of your fans can definitely come out and
Okay.
check them out.
Who that? The Ghetto Boys. See, that's everybody in
And that's,
Sony Hall.
Ghetto
Yeah.
Boys.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's
Okay.
$100 a piece ticket.
Oh, wow.
That's a show that's almost sold out.
Okay. All right.
So
Well,
they
we're
got the
sitting here
hookup.
tonight.
Yeah.
Hey. Man, it's old school.
Yep.
Ghetto Boys ain't no joke.
No, they ain't no joke.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, you
What's your
guys
name?
can-
Bushwick Bill. Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bushwick Bill. He's sick. He's real sick.
What happened to him?
Yeah, cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. So,
And we have the Taste of Times Square coming up. I'm also a part of the Taste of Times Square.
So you got your hands in everything.
Yeah. Recently just named ambassador to Jamaica, plus I'm also brand ambassador to Walker's Wood Food. So I'm just being so busy. Just being so busy.
How's the family doing?
The family's good. The family's good. I have a daughter. I have a 13-year-old daughter.
I'm talking about your sister and all of the.
Yeah, my sister. My sister live here in the Bronx.
Right.
My mom also live here. My mom is a nurse at a Jacoby
So you brought
Hospital.
everybody up.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
recently I just did the food festival in Florida. And after how many years, when I was in Florida, my mom contacted me and said, well, the man want you to stop by since you're in Florida. So and then my mom said, "Oh, your father." I'm like, "Mom, I hate when you. I don't know what. Just call me by his. Just call him by his name, his last name. Don't say my father. My father is. I don't know this man as a father
Right.
to say, hey, what's good. It's so funny because even on Father's Day, he'll call me and he's like, because recently we start talking. I remember one day I was servicing my car, and he called me, and when he called me,
This back in Jamaica.
no, here. Recently, probably about 2 years ago.
Oh, so y'all just
Yeah,
all them
we
years,
just
y'all
connected
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And my mom was the one who connected us back. And she's like, Patrick, just forgive him. Let bygone be bygone. He's up in that age right now. And I think he's trying to do right and so forth. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to harbor what transpired. Because you know what I look at? I look at it where maybe God didn't really want him in your life because you need to go somewhere. And for me to be where I'm at now, I think him not being in my life was the purpose. For me to learn how to be a man on my own, by myself, never throw a ball with a father, never had a father teach me how to shave, never had a father teach me how to be a man or how to be a father to my daughter right now, which I love so endlessly. So now everything that I didn't get as a child, I'm giving it to my daughter. And everything that I didn't get, I'm giving it to the kids and the youths and everyone that I motivate and everyone that I come across. So maybe that was his purpose. So I think of those things and I say, you know what? And I eventually met up with him in Florida. I drove up to his house, ring the doorbell. He came to the door. I looked at him and to my head, I'm like, okay, I kind of remember what you look like. Said hi to him. We didn't even hug as father. I was like, shake his hand, and we stand there and talk for a little bit. And that's about it. But deep inside of me, I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I look at it like, look at me now. Look what I've become.
Right.
You know, and I can't be mad with you because maybe this was what was destined for me. It's not everyone that comes in your life as father figure. Back then, when they got with your mother, they were just a sperm donor. It's no guarantee that they were a great father. They were a great dad. Or they're going to be a great dad being in your life. You know, I told a kid that the same thing the other day. He was in the same position like me, and he was felt in like, my father left. And I'm like, oh, calm down. I know how you feel. I understand how you feel. But you don't know if he can be a great dad to you. You don't know. I understand all of that. And right now, I mentor that guy. Every time I go to Jamaica, we hang out. Any question he have, he reach out to me and so forth. So yes, we want, and this is why even as fathers and relationship, you got to be careful what you get into, because you get into something and you have fun for a couple of minutes, but then the domino effect of what you create, if you're not ready and prepared for it, you leave the kid to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just we just got to be mindful, and we got to be there for each other.
So we got this food right here. We about to bring up real quick.
Yeah, I brought you guys some goodies. I come bearing gifts again. Yeah.
We like gifts.
All right. All right. See, guys, now I brought you guys a jerk of barbecue salmon.
Wow.
Jerk
and
barbecue
lobster
salmon.
with baby potato and baby carrots.
Why you standing up, man?
You
stretching? You stretching?
Yeah, I'm scratching. I'm seeing
And,
all of
and
us.
that roasted chicken, oven roasted
Wow.
chicken.
And you got a
Julian
little,
veg.
little decoration.
And you got your nice little lemon
Yeah.
going for you right there.
What's the tent, huh?
Give me a
Let him see
piece
that.
of
Let
that.
him see that. See that tent before you think. You want to think, let him see that first. There you go. Nice.
Nice.
We gotta call him. We gotta call him, man.
That's not called. That's this phone.
Okay, cool.
That's DK.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're good right
Yeah,
now.
I
Say,
never fought.
yeah, I gave you. I think, yeah. Yep. So I can't. So I'm gonna come make them feed you. It's
Appreciate it, man.
a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you let know what podcast you on?
Well, you can find me Chef W Simpson, and my website is Chef Wenford Patrick Simpson. But Chef W Simpson, you go there, you see the link at the top that takes you to my website. Plus, I have my cookbook that's coming out June 15, Cooking with Love. And the reason for this cookbook and behind it, when you hone this cookbook, you hone a part of me and a part of my journey. Each paragraph that you go to tells a little bit about this particular dish. And one of the great thing about each dish that is inside it, it was the individual dish that you're looking at in the picture was made for either someone of status or a celebrity, or made for a special guest or something. And that was the exact plate that went out to that person. So I wanted that book. When you look at it, you're gonna create exactly what I create. And most of the recipes I walk you through where you're supposed to have the same image and the same
Yeah,
taste.
I'm looking for you. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta say so. You a little bite, you get a little bite on camera, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we definitely appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know,
much.
we'll be back in 1 minute. We have our third and final guest, Melba, coming through.
We got Miss Melba
Melba is in the building.
in the building. Owner Melba's restaurant, landmark in Harlem.
Yep.
We'll be back in a few minutes. Tell me what podcast show you on right now, man.
Well, right now you can find me on
other podcast
the podcast. Beat 139.
There it is. All
That's
right.
what I'm talking about.
That's
Beat
right.
139. Yep.
Thank you, bro.